And Roxy there, of course, was very kind, and she was confident the Wright brothers, being so smart, could make their machine work. She was sure they'd make the airplane work. What does that phrase mean, to make something work?
Well, if you make something work, it means it isn't working, but you make it do the job it should do.
Okay.
So it's quite similar to get something right, means you'll get it to do what it should do. If you make something work, it's not working, it's not quite happening, but you do something and then, aha, it's now working. And I guess she knows they will make it work.
Right, it's in the history books.
It's in the history books.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we go to the Wright brothers. They are looking at the time machine controls. Look at this. And Orville says, Wilbur, take a look at this. Do you think we could? And then there's this ... Do you think we could? And we use this kind of ... and he doesn't finish his sentence, is because he's so interested in the machine, he just doesn't say the other words, okay? This ... pattern, we can use it in writing when someone doesn't finish what they're going to say, either because they're thinking a lot or because sometimes the other person can easily guess what those words are. So he say, oh, do you think we could, do that or something? And his brother can, oh yeah, I know, yeah, of course we, And so they're not finishing their sentences because their minds are both kind of working together.
And Wilbur responds. He knows exactly what his brother is starting to think. So Wilbur says, maybe. And what if we... And here we're seeing this being used again in another situation. Very similarly, he probably starts doing something, or maybe he pulls a piece of paper and a pencil out of his pocket and starts drawing a picture of the idea that he's thinking of. But basically, the words that he's saying were interrupted. Maybe they weren't that important. Maybe he started to do some actions. Maybe someone else started to speak too. That's why we don't see the end of the sentence, because it basically ended in the middle.
Yeah, he doesn't say the words out loud. Basically, the Wright brothers, they're suggesting ideas about the time machine controls. They both know what the other person will say.
So the things they learned...
Yeah, and then
later on
after that they will...
And that's how they...
Yes, okay. So Mike and I knew what we were saying there, so we didn't need to finish the sentences because we kind of did that.
But if that's true, I didn't read that.
That's a different one.
Okay.
Now, we also saw the brother use what if, okay? He used the phrase what if. And you use what if to suggest an idea or a possibility. For example, we could get the broken computer. My computer doesn't work. So you say, what if you turn it off and turn it on again?
Yeah, all right.
That's a suggestion.
It's an idea that you think is good, but you're not 100% sure it will work. You're kind of throwing it out there, seeing what other people think about this idea that you've had. Well, Shia is kind of looking at the Wright brothers there, looking at the time machine and using some ideas to maybe fix their airplane. And just then, Shia goes over to his sister and says, Roxy, this is dangerous.
Dangerous?
It's dangerous what they're doing right now.
I have the same question as Roxy. What do you mean?
Right.
Why is it going to be dangerous?
Are they going to crash the time machine or break it or blow it up? But I'm not sure exactly what Shia is thinking of. That's why Roxy asked, what do you mean? And Shia explains further, we need to be careful. He's saying we need to be careful in this situation. Well, to find out what he thinks they should be careful about, we're going to have to pause to find that out, because we have to look at this word careful. It's a word power word. It's spelled C-A-R-E-F-U-L. Careful. Careful is an adjective, and when you do something in a careful way, that means you are full of care, or you're doing it slowly so that you don't make any mistakes, so there's no problems, all right? If you're walking on the street and you're wearing slippery shoes, you need to be careful. You don't want to walk too quickly and have your feet slide out, and so you end up falling down, okay? When you're carrying a baby, you need to be careful holding a baby, because you don't want to have any accidents and hurt anyone. So you do it with a lot of care. You're very careful. For example, be careful when you're cutting vegetables with a knife. Be careful when you're cutting vegetables with a knife.
So why do they have to be careful? Shia adds, we might change history. Now, what does Shia mean? Well, first, we need to know more about the word history, 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 which is our last word power word. History is a noun, and it is all the events that happened in the past, before. For example, today in class, we learned about the history of the car. Today in class, we learned about the history of the car. So Shia is worried about changing history, and this is a big danger for time travelers. What if they stopped a war or started one by accident? That would change the world. And when they get back to their real time, things will be different. For example, what if the time machine arrived in the past, crashed into their grandfather and killed him before he had children? Would they be born?
Ah, I see, because their father wouldn't have been born if their grandfather had died.
But then if they weren't born, how do they do that? So it gets very confusing. That's why it's dangerous.
Yeah, so if you're traveling in time, try not to change history if you can avoid
Don't change anything.
That's right. Well, Roxy's thinking about all of these big, important, and complicated questions. But she agrees, even if Shia is a little bit too nervous, she thinks it's good to be careful. She says, you're right, we should go. We should get out of here before we do actually change history.
Orville says, we hope you get home someday. So here, someday is all one word. It's an adverb, and it just means at some time in the future. So he's saying, we hope you eventually, in the end, we hope you get home.
That's right. And although they maybe didn't help the Wright brothers build the perfect airplane, they did do something. So Wilbur says, thanks for giving us some great ideas. And when you say thanks for, this phrase basically means you're thanking a person for this reason, okay? Thank you for coming. Thank you for your help. Thank you for this lovely gift. Anything like that. That's the reason you are thankful, or you are thanking that person.
Okay, well, they've got some good ideas, so maybe somehow Roxy and Shia help the Wright brothers build that airplane.
That's right.
That is really interesting.
Won't be in the history books.
Okay, but Roxy and Shia, they use the time machine again and travel. Now, we could talk for a long time. Did they really change history? Is that what really happened? We just don't know, but they've gone, and they'll have another adventure next time, so it's time for us to go to our wrap-up.